Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Mike Rower 31. We have a Dover race, road course, Super Speedway. Something a little bit different, finally. Xfinity and Cup here this weekend. And again, it's going to be same day practice qualifying, tight window. So this is a speculation video. I apologize. But did a lot of research on this and we'll do the best we can. Try to look at the field here. A lot of drivers here, so definitely two aren't going to make it. I think the biggest story out of NASCAR yesterday, if you didn't see it, is that Chris Wright and R Motorsports had parted ways, and R Motorsports had decided that this is going to be their last race. They have Kaz Grala coming in, who's not a bad driver. So we'll see what happens with that. I have him under set punt, which is incorrect. Let me just change this quick. So it's kind of sad. I mean, our motorsports had some good drivers over the last couple of years. And they started out in 2000 or not, like 2020 ish. And I think Brett Moffitt was like one of the key ones, and it was pretty successful. And then he moved on and they kind of expanded to like three teams and it like TK and I used to talk about it. It's like they had some really good drivers. They had like really good potential. I forget who they found on. I think Alfredo was one of them. But they should have been competitive, but I think they spread themselves too thin. So then they contracted back to one team and it seemed like they were okay. And then they lost their drivers and they settled on Wright, who was okay, but if you won a race, it would probably been like Talladega or Daytona or like some attrition race. But they were competitive. They weren't horrible. But now they're done. So sad to see when a team that's been around for a couple of years can't make it and go. But it's a natural kind of course of any competitive sport. Um, so that's the storyline. The other thing is Dover is a pretty decent. It's a concrete track with high banking called the Monster Mile and it has a lot of tire wear here. So the ones in blue are pretty good at tire wear, and that's just they're not left over from the road course. I just throw that there kind of as a point of reference. So my model has Allgaier again in the pole. He's always been really good on tire wear track. Last year he got in an accident towards the end, actually a couple of them. This went to two overtimes. Ryan Truex ended up winning it. He only led like three laps during the whole course of the race, so he is up there and he was competitive but you had a whole bunch of people that were up there and kind of dominating, take each other out. And Algaro was finished like in the 30s, and he led a good share of the laps in 39. So definitely some dominated points there. Finish wasn't ideal. Holcuster really dominated this race, but of course he's not in Xfinity Series anymore. He's in Cup. So I think Zillage is going to probably qualify well here, and we'll see how he does with the tire and everything. He's just been very good at obviously at road courses and throughout this season. A rising star here probably will be up in a trackhouse car and Cup next year, but I think he's a good GPP play here. Mayer had a solid day, keeping out of trouble last year. Didn't lead any laps, but started 20th and ended up finishing third. So that's a pretty solid day for him. So I think he's got some upside as a dominator here. Austin Hill's been good at tire wear tracks. He got in, I think, was it he and Creed, his old teammate, was it Quaffle that turned him? I don't know. There's a whole like the leaders all just kept on like taking each other out. I know Creed and Hill were battling back and forth a lot last year, and Hill had a solid day, but he started fourth and ended up finishing 15th because of the calamity in the second overtime. But he led 17 laps, and he's really good on tire wear tracks. Jesse Love is also good on tire wear tracks, so I think that between these two Childers cars, they'll qualify pretty well, and you can consider them dominator candidates. Taylor Gray, he's been better recently. I just feel that he qualifies really well, but just doesn't hold it during the course of the race. And again, this is still only his first year in Xfinity, a lot of truck series, but a little bit different with this car. So I think that he's a GPP for me. Probably will qualify in top 10, but we'll have to see if he's really fast in practice and has the pole, then maybe. But we'll have to see how his fall off is. Sheldon Creed, usually this is a GPP play, and I don't know. I've got just a sneaky feeling this could be his first win today. I, he has the car last year that was just really dominant in Custer, but again, like Custer started 11th. He led 95 laps. It could be the driver, but the setup and stuff too. And Creed's really good at tire wear. So I think there's a lot of factors in here that bode well. And if he can stay away from Austin Hill and they don't end up taking each other out. But the Creed started fifth and ended up finishing fourth. So a lot of upside here. And if he doesn't qualify this high up, he might be a prime play for me. Because I don't know. I just have a feeling. Sheldon Creed has always been volatile and someone that you really doesn't have the floor for you to play in a cash game. But I think he might be a core play for me today. I'll have to see after practice and qualifying, but I really like him in this situation. Smith, Swalich have been solid. Smith last year didn't finish well. He was in an accident, but ran. I think he got caught up in other people's issues. Started 13th and finished 33rd. Taylor Gray actually did run this race last year, also started ninth and finished 34th. And he had an accident too. I just didn't mention that earlier. So I think Sammy Smith will be okay. Swalich has been a little bit underachieving recently. Like Gibbs, like there's some question with the engines. I think they've figured that out. They haven't had as many issues recently. So I think that depending on like qualifying, that they could be cash plays. I really like Quaffle here. He had a chance to run here last year, um, before his rookie season, and he finished second. He started 26th, and he had a very, very solid day. Now, he was in the 88, which Zilich is in now. But I still think that this JR Motorsports team and car are good. He's had some really solid runs, and at 88, I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to try to get probably two or three of these over 10K. High, like even if you're playing Hill or the Cage, you're like in the high 9K range. So I don't know if people will be able to get to Quaffle at 88, but if you're doing a more balanced build, I really, really like it. Brandon Jones, there's Brandon Jones tracks, is not Brandon Jones tracks. He's been okay on tire wear tracks. He just ends up finding issues, and this is a brutal track, which I think that he could um, end up. It's checkers and records for him, so that's why I think he's a perfect 10K GPP dart. Sanchez has been solid, big machine racing, great program, and some of the things that they did last year or with previous drivers that they've had. I think the team's just solid and they find good drivers to put in. Clearman was in here before, and then before that, I forget who it was, but they always have had solid results. So I think that probably starts top 15, finishes fifth, top 15. Sanchez went pretty well on tire wear tracks last year in Truck Series, so I think it'll be okay. Almirola hops in a Gibbs car. I like him on flat tracks. He's okay on concrete. GPP for me, I'd rather pay for probably Allgaier or Chastain. Chastain's been in really good form recently with the Xfinity Series and nine. JR Motorsports car seems to be pretty solid. So we'll have to see how it pans out. But if you're taking the two like top four top drivers, I'm really leaning on Ross on this one. And the other thing too is like these guys have really nothing to lose. They can change their pit strategy because they don't have to stay out for stage points. So if there's a caution close to the end of the stage, they can come in and pit and get track position. And while the other people, which are getting close to the playoffs, are trying to get out there getting stage points, then they can get on a different strategy and it could help them to win the race because their only strategy is to win the race. I guess kind of like him here is a 7800 is kind of under the radar play. I was really good at tire wear tracks in the truck series, and I think that he could have a solid day here also and be kind of under the radar and surprising. Guy has been disappointing the last couple of races I played him. GPP, I just don't feel the floors here, and I just don't know how good he is with time of my track. Burton and Burton, $200 apart. Both of them are veterans. They've run races for a while now, and I think that both of them are okay with tire wear tracks. Harrison Burns actually showed some like speed recently. He's won a race, and he's obviously their program is like below the JR Motorsports and the Gibbs, but I think he's solid there in like that like second tier and as a driver and a team. So I don't struggle playing him with cash unless he looks completely slow and lost with horrible fall off in practice. Burton, same thing. Jake Finch comes from ARCA. He jumps into Hendrick's car, so they would put him in this car. They'd have like either I thought for sure I'd open this up and I'd have like a 14-5 like Larson at this track um or a 12-5 um Iron or maybe a 15 or a 10.5K Elliott or Bowman. But no, it's not one of those drivers. They're bringing somebody up from the ARCA series who has been decent. I think starts in the middle of the pack, finishes in the middle of the pack. I think there's some raw talent here that cashed in might be my other 10K driver, one that I'll switch to that. Just someone that I don't think people will recognize and kind of look over and might have some potential because we've seen some good things as people come up with, as Swalch has come up, as Quaffle has come up, as Austin Hill is not Austin Hill, Jesse Love have come up from ARCA. I think there's some talent there. Ryan Sieg's usually a solid cash play. If he qualifies worse, then he's a better play. If he qualifies in the top 10, then he's probably more of a GPP. LeVar Scott is another ARCA driver who is actually fared better at Dover. He's had a couple races, finished in the top five, I believe, both times. But he's in an Alpha Prime car, and this Alpha Prime car might not qualify. Like my model has been finishing like 22nd and starting about 21st. I like Finch better. I like the fact that Finch I know is going to and you'll know before you build your lineup if LeVar Scott qualifies or not. But he's another one to kind of keep your eye on as an Xfinity ARCA driver that's coming up that isn't horrible, that has some upside at a really, really cheap price. Maybe he should be the 10K sleeper there. D Benedetto GPP unless he qualifies way far down. Then with his experience, and he's decent on tire wear, could be a cash. Clements and Williams used to be staple cash play, even Perkins too, like the three of these. I just haven't seen it recently, but some of these other ones that have cash might turn into GPP plays if they qualify too far forward. So I don't want to put a ton of like cash recommendations on the board here, but this range right here of these drivers are ones like that can potentially work their way into the cash conversation. They haven't been great recently, but we've done a lot of road courses, super speedways. But getting back into shorter tracks and intermediate tracks, then these ones could start to come forward. Raja Karuf, if anybody looks at the box score, they'll look at him running in the Xfinity Series and be like, not really good results. He's in a Jordan Anderson car, which is decent. He is doing really well in the truck series. He's up there as probably some of the best drivers. I mean, obviously Corey Heim is on a tier of his own, but Raja has to be in the second or third tier. Um, up there. So a lot of talent, good, decent tire wear, and I see if I'm gonna go with prime play because we need to find some value, but like not like complete funds that are going to be in bad equipment and bad drivers. So I think he checks the boxes for that. Dean Thompson, I think you can play in cash here, depending on practice and qualifying. Like the cash tag might come off of him because he's 68, and then it might go on to Clement. Um, Williams or Perkins when I see practice qualifying, especially if he starts too far forward. Anthony Alfredo had a very solid run here last year. He was in the five for our motorsports, which is going to be so. I don't know if like that plays into the narrative. Win one for the old team. Yeah, I doubt that. But I've been doing good at young motorsports here. Last year, started 21st, ended up ninth. Solid day, solid run. Been good at this track. Model hasn't started 28th, finished in 21st, like about 25 DK points, which is about 4x, which is what I'm looking for. At 6K, I think that's a very solid floor for a cash play. Red Sloth's been all over the place this year. Boom or bust. Ryan Ellis, DGM, just kind of questionable in the tech. Pool might work his way into a cash play, but we'll have to see how practice and qualifying go. Malicki, he runs these races so he can be able for his team to, if he doesn't qualify, to have enough owners points to get in for road courses, which he loves. Fade for me here. Honeyman's kind of take a step back. Like we used to call him Moneyman, but this co-founding racing team, it's been okay. It's had some tunk issues here and there and mechanical breakdowns, which isn't surprising for not underfunded, but a lesser funded like single car team. But we've seen him with potential. I haven't really seen great results at Dover here. I think he'll qualify, but I'll have to see how practice looked before I consider playing McCash. Probably going to be GPP. Sieg's usually a solid cash floor play in the 5K range, so you're fine there. Casgrala, I'm probably going to put in the top GPP just because of the emotional aspect of like the last, and that thing's going to win this race. It's not going to be when Riley Herbst won for, um, the final race last year at Phoenix for the team that was going away at Stuart Haas, but I think that they're going to put like an all-out effort in here to have a good showing for their final one, and I think that's a great recipe for a GPP. Uh, Lance, like Greenlight racing cars have been breaking down recently. Again, we were on road courses and super speedway, so this is a kind of a different, but it is a brutal track. So both of the SS Greenlight Bobby Dotto cars for me are going to be GPPs unless they looked like they had enough speed in practice to be considered cash with a little bit place differential. But Ryan Truex is my prime play down here. Won the race last year, and I know it was kind of a Lux box, but he was there. He had a solid day, solid run, didn't lead a lot of laps, and I don't think he's going to qualify 37th here. Um, he'll probably do better than that. But I think I have him like finishing the top thir 15 to 13th. And I think that there's a lot of upside with him. He's not in a Gibbs car, but a Sam Hunt car is pretty close. I know it's the second Sam Hunt car, so it's you're starting to spread some things, but they have the Joe Gibbs backing. It's his home track too. It's a hometown hero, so that's got playing that in and a lot of experience on this track. So I think people might overlook him. He hasn't raced as much this season, so I think people gravitate more towards like Almirola and Chastain. I'm gonna do everything I can to get Truex into my main cash lineup. No matter where he starts, he's probably, unless he's like has major issues in practice, or looks like his fall off is horrible. Like his tire where I should probably have the blue on him. He's been decent on that too. So, and then the ones below there, Star and Glenn Reen. Glenn Reen has been terrible. These Joey Gase cars, I don't know if they'll be able to qualify. I don't even know if they have. Maybe one of them um, will be able to get in with owners points, thus knocking out like probably like Lentz or probably like LeVar Scott, but you're only going to have 38 cars in this race and have 40 of them qualifying, so two people are going home. My guess is Star and Reen, but it could be Scott and it could be some of the other ones down here. So let's hope our should have enough owners points to make it in for this one. So I got for you from a question. Put in the chat below. Hit me at Megawar31 on Twitter/X. If you want more information on FSi DFS, you can go to our website. You can get into our Discord, which is free. There's a free room called NASCAR Pool in there that you can join and Sometimes I do speculation videos that I'll throw out what my final primes are, or give you a little bit of help there after I take care of the paying customers. But the subscription for the main NASCAR page is really cheap. It's $5 a week. If you pay one more, like you can probably like split it in, because if you sign up this afternoon for the $5, then it's going to cover both races, Saturday and Sunday. Well, if you pay $1 more for $6, you can get a daily VIP. So the races are like four. So sign up at like three, and then you'll probably get like a little bit earlier, because you can get MLB baseball today. You can get I think there's still summer league baseball, basketball going on. If the WNBA back, Kurt's been doing a great job on both of those. PGA Showdown, you'll get soccer if there's anything on there, NASCAR. So quite a few things for just $1 more. You get all the sports, so pretty good value. And if these videos help us back, like, subscribe to the channel, and share with friends. So I'll be back tonight with the cup race, and I hope it's a good weekend. Weather holds up and it's a good race. And I will see you tonight for the cup race. Thanks for watching.